I'm cheating on my husband with his boss and I'm so disgusted with myself. I did not expect this coming. Hello, Reddit eyes here. I'm cheating on my husband with his boss and I'm so disgusted with myself that I feel like I'm spiraling. I never thought I would find myself in this position and I don't know what to do anymore. Let me backtrack a bit. My husband, 36M, and I, 34F, have been married for 8 years and have a beautiful daughter, 7F, who is the light of our lives. Up until a year and a half ago, we lived a comfortable life, filled with laughter and dreams for our future. But everything changed when our daughter was diagnosed with cancer. The news plunged us into a dark place, financially and emotionally. Between treatments, endless doctor visits, and the fear that loomed over us, the stress started to take its toll on our marriage. We were both working hard, but it felt like we were drifting apart as we tried to keep our heads above water. A few months ago, my husband mentioned he was being considered for a promotion at work that could significantly improve our financial situation. I held on to that hope like a lifeline, dreaming of a day when we could go back to normal. The night of the work event, I chatted with his boss, sharing our struggles, and he seemed genuinely sympathetic. I didn't think much of it when he asked for my number to check up on our daughter. The following week, I got a call from my husband's boss, asking to meet for lunch to discuss the promotion. I felt uneasy but agreed. During lunch, he explained the promotion's benefits, and I could hardly believe my ears. It could increase my husband's income by $50,000 to $60,000 a year. But then the conversation took a dark turn. He started flirting, making it clear he was attracted to me, and that's when I realized I was in way over my head. I was horrified but also conflicted. We were so desperate for help, and I wanted my husband to succeed. That day I should have walked away, but instead, I found myself caught in a web of desperation and moral compromise. I called my husband's boss the next day and asked what he wanted. He made an offer I never thought I'd entertain. One night in exchange for the promotion. I hesitated, feeling the weight of my family's struggles crushing me. On the day of the meeting, I convinced myself this was for my family. I told my husband I was going out with friends. When I arrived at the hotel, I felt a storm of emotions. I was terrified, but I kept telling myself it was just one time. The encounter left me feeling hollow and broken, but as I returned home, I saw the joy on my husband's face when he shared the news of his promotion. I forced myself to smile, but inside, I was dying. As weeks turned into months, I couldn't shake off the guilt. My husband, oblivious to my betrayal, celebrated his promotion and worked even harder, trying to provide for us. But every time I met his boss, I felt like I was sinking deeper into a pit of shame. Each encounter was followed by tears, guilt, and a sense of losing myself. One fateful day, I received a call from my husband's boss, threatening to expose me if I didn't meet him again. I panicked. How could I tell my husband that I was cheating on him? I felt trapped, knowing our family couldn't afford for him to lose his job. I reluctantly met him, feeling even more trapped in a cycle I couldn't break, but I realized something had to change. One night, after a particularly hard day, I came home and broke down in front of my husband. I poured out my heart, confessing everything, my fears, the betrayal, and how I had been feeling suffocated by the choices I made. I told him how much I loved him and our daughter, how much I hated what I had done, and how I felt like I had become someone I didn't recognize. To my surprise, he didn't react with anger. Instead, he held me, his eyes filled with empathy. "We're a team," he said softly. "We'll figure this out together." I was taken aback by his compassion. I realized that we had been so focused on survival that we had neglected each other emotionally. From that moment, we made a pact to communicate openly and honestly, no matter how painful. We sought couples therapy to help us rebuild our trust and connection. My husband's boss eventually got wind of our new direction and attempted to manipulate me again, but this time I stood firm. I reported his actions to HR, and they took immediate action. With my husband by my side, I felt empowered to reclaim my life. We worked together to build a new foundation, one rooted in honesty, compassion, and love. As we faced the challenges of our daughter's treatment, we found strength in each other, learning to celebrate the small victories together. Now, as I look at my husband and daughter, I realize how far we've come. While our journey is far from over, we are committed to each other and our family, and for the first time in a long while, I can see a brighter future ahead, one filled with love, hope, and the determination to rise above the challenges we face together.